Can you tell me the overview of human resource management?
Human resource management, right? Itself is a very big concept. So, people across the globe, they always keep on thinking, right? HR is a very chilled out problem. But there are some people who don't understand is that HR is a vast, it's just like a vast sea. And there are many things or many scope in HR. So let's say HR is a combination of being a business partner and at the same time being a stakeholder of the organization. So you need to understand that there are certain things which an HR has to follow because, and again, when I was in my college, there was a time when my faculty told me, being an HR is not an easy task because the business is on you, so you are an indirect owner of the business. So for me, being an HR is taking is all about taking responsibilities and most importantly being accountable for the entire business. So that's my take on HR and being an HR.
Yeah, thank you so.
What are the objectives of you being in HR and your HR department to the company?
Your whole department to the company.
Okay, so the department where I am working is the employee relations department. So over here we have three departments in the HR, as an HR team as a whole. So we have a team of 30 people over here. So the three teams are: number one is the recruitment team, which is also known as the talent acquisition group. Okay, so that's basically into recruiting people and bringing the right person at the right place. So that's one team. The other team which we have is the payroll team. So that basically takes care of other compliances like PF, ESI, and again the normal payroll thing. So they close payroll on a month-on-month basis. Then comes the employee relation team, which I am a part of. So basically, our work is to work around the clock. So once once talent acquisition team brings in the people, okay, they onboard them, okay, then our work starts. So our work starts from the time they are hired till the time they go home, like as in they resign or they attrite from our organization. So using the word attrite is not a positive one, so I can say they get separated from the organization. So being an employee relations specialist, my responsibility is basically is to, number one is to induct them. Okay. Number two is to ensure that the ball keeps rolling. So we have a different kind of work over here. So basically, I have to take care of their engagement as well. So when I talk about engagement, it's all about going to the floors, talking to them on a one-on-one basis. Sometimes having certain sessions with them, which we also call as skip meetings. So basically, we talk with a group, target group, and we then try to figure out what exactly is the issue, what can be sorted out if there is an issue, if they need any help or if they have any suggestions. So we try to take that suggestion forward and try to improve the business. That's one. The second thing which we work on is basically the engagement activities. So we try to bring in certain activities through which uh, the employees are motivated and they feel special about working over here. Otherwise, working in a BPO like this, it's very monotonous because you keep on taking calls and calls and calls, and then at one point of time you take calls, you go home, you come back, you take calls and go home. So that's a very monotonous kind of thing. So being an HR or being an indirect owner of the organization, our responsibility is to make the employees feel valued over there, and that's our work. So we bring in certain activities like we bring in people from outside having financial planning sessions. We have women coming out from various NGOs making stalls over here. As you know, Women's Day is coming up, so we are also planning to have self-defense campaigns. So we have these sessions coming in. So being an ER team, or I won't call it as an ER team, I would call it as a business partner team. My responsibility is to take care of the entire business as a whole. So that's all about my business or my work over here. Okay. The other part of this work is to take care of post payroll works. So post payroll works basically, let's say an employee receives his or her salary, right? And if there is any kind of discrepancy or if there is any kind of understanding issue, that's my job to make them understand. That's my job to show them, okay, if this is what you have got, this is how you have, this is your breakup of your salary. So if at all they have any issues understanding it, I have to sort that out. So we have to ensure that an employee comes in and goes out with a smiling face. Right? That's my job.
Can you tell me about your critical situation you have been faced and your role in resolving it?
So we have got a lot of critical issues because right, being having worked in a BPO sector, this is my first job in a BPO. Right, earlier I have been a part of various departments, various businesses earlier, but now it's like since it's a BPO, we have some crazy employees. Honestly speaking, some really crazy employees. So we have got issues like. Employees coming in talking about, what, my team leader is not good, what, my team leader is acting crazy, this, that, and all. So we have got a lot of crazy issues like that. An issue as such I would put forward happened to me back like a year or two when there was an employee who was being verbally assaulted by another employee. So verbally assaulted means there was a female employee and on the other side there was a male employee. Okay, so the guy just bumped into her and he apologized her. But after that, the employee, he came in and he started like apologizing her, but again inappropriately touching her. Right? I'm sorry and all. So he started doing like that, and this female employee got agitated. She said, what, you have to be in your limits because this is not the right way you talk to me, because again we are in the same training batch, but you're not that close to me, so just keep a safe distance. So this guy got agitated ultimately because he started saying that that crazy men mentality, MCP attitude which you call it. So this guy got agitated and he started using some F's and B's on that employee. So this girl got agitated again. She came up to me stating that what, this is what has happened. I went to the employee first, the female employee, to make her understand. But again, you need to understand when you're talking to a female employee and you being a male HR, you need a female person to be present. So I brought in one of my female colleagues to sit for the discussion. So she was a part of the discussion. She also helped me a lot because the girl was really really upset about this thing, because again that's an upsetting matter. So she came in to console her, to understand the entire issue. Once we got that issue sorted out for the female employee, we called in this guy. We understood that this guy is out of his mind. So we called this guy, we tried to make him understand. And for a moment he also understood things. But just after that, the very next moment, we found that both of them are fighting inside the training room and in presence of the trainer itself. So this guy said something which is very disturbing, which I don't want to pull out over here. He brought in a very bad remark on that girl. Not in terms of profanities, but again it was something really disturbing. So this girl got really offended on that. She started crying. At one point of time, the female employee said, what, I quit, I don't want to work over here. So as an HR, that was my responsibility to make her understand, sit with her, counsel her. Unfortunately, that was night, so my female colleague was not there. So I thought, okay, I'll postpone it for the next day. But then I realized that if I postpone it for the next day, the employee might not come back. So what I did was I called one of the team leaders from the floor, because again I need a female employee there. So I called in a team leader to sit beside her, so that she doesn't feel uncomfortable in the presence of a male guy. Sharing female issues and all. It's sometimes it becomes very tough when there's a male sitting in front of you. So I called that lady to come in and she spoke with us. She sat through the entire discussion. We made her understand. So after that discussion and all, this guy, right, he again went crazy. And later we realized that, screwed Eli and all. So we realized that he's a crackpot. The same day he ran away from the office. Not same day, same evening. So it was like 3 in the morning. And we don't know what happened. He just took his bag. He ran from here till some distance. We tried to catch hold of him. No, we weren't able to catch, but the cops did catch him. Because the cops were patrolling over here. So they came back to us stating that, this is, and we said, no sir, he's not our employee. He's out of his mind, he's not our employee. So the employee went home. We succeeded in retaining this employee. I know this is very biased, the male employee, he ran away, he was caught by the cops and then we refused to take him. But again, that's the way we do justice with people. There was one more incident which we had. It was something like, so there were 2 employees. So one was a team leader, not a team leader, I'm sorry, assistant manager and an agent, as in the executives over here. So these 2 folks were so close that they would go out, have a smoke together and all, but they would even smoke up together. I hope you understand what's the meaning of smoking up, right? Yeah. So they would smoke up together. So we started investigating onto this fact for a very long time. Later we realized and we got it confirmed that yes, these 2 folks are smoking up. Now, as an HR, you need to play your cards right? And you cannot go directly to an assistant manager and say, hey, I got to know you're smoking up. And then he'll come back and say, hey, I don't know. What are you talking about? And what's the proof about that? So we played our cards right. So what I did was, I went to that guy, just with a cigarette in my hand, I went and I spoke to him. You know what? There is something I need to talk to you about. You know what it is? So I said, I think I got to know that there's someone who's smoking up. So he said, who's that employee? No, but I think what should I do? Can you just suggest me? He said, what should you do? You are an HR, just catch hold of that guy and throw him out. So what I did was, I caught hold of that agent. Okay, he told me to catch hold of that guy. Okay, I told him, come, you have to come to the HR. This guy was so scared, he said, it's not only me who is smoking up, it's also the assistant manager. He has brought me to smoke up. So please don't terminate me, terminate him as well. So it's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. So you have to play your cards right when you are into the HR team, especially when you are working as a business partner HR. Because as I said, you cannot leave an employee sad or employee walking out of the room without a smile. But at the same time, you have to do justice with people. So if you find that there is something going wrong, feel free to voice it up. Because if you don't voice it up, probably you will end up a wrong person being at the right place. So that's my job to take care of things.
Can you tell me your achievements as an HR in your career?
Achievements, okay. Well, that's a big question because right now, if I have to say, I'm very new in this organization. Even though I'm 1.5 years old in this organization, I'm very new. Most importantly, I have been shuffling a lot in terms of my job. Earlier, yes, I have got a few achievements. So I started my career into HR, but again, I started it back in London. So I did my MBA from the University of Central Lancashire, London. And I started working as an intern in ABC Consultants. So when I was an intern over there, they used to pay me a stipend of £7 an hour. Okay, back in Europe, right? The pay structure is different, right? The pay structure is as such that as an intern, they will pay you on an hourly basis per week, and the maximum you can work is 20 hours. So back in ABC Consultants, I was working, and I was working there as an intern. So I used to work for 20 hours a week. So I started working over there and slogging hard. You know, nothing happens in 7 pounds an hour. So that would make close to 140 pounds a week. So it used to go like this. So slowly I started gaining confidence with the team members. And as an achievement, if I have to talk about, the first thing which happened it happened in the second month. They were so impressed with my work. They were so impressed with my processing things and all, that they allowed me to go for a trip, as in not a field trip and all, but again a business trip. And that was my first trip outside London. I got my first trip to Germany. And after that, they were so confident about me that they would send me to various fields, as in various other companies, because as ABC Consultants as a company, right, it was, number one, it was the leading consulting company in the world, and it is still there. It's the leading consulting company in the world. Secondly, it's not nothing like the consultancies you find these days, right? It's like a business consulting company. So we had to go to various businesses. We have to go to those companies. We have to talk to them. We have to share our ideas of how to make the business, how to make work better. So I got my first trip to Germany in the second month. Slowly, in my span of 1 year over there, I almost traveled entire world. So for someone to start working in London, then going to Germany in 1 year as an intern, okay, that's a bigger thing. As an intern, I traveled half the world. I have traveled to Germany, I have traveled to Spain, Portugal, France, Bulgaria, Belgium, Spain I had said again. So various countries I have already traveled as an HR. Even though I was an intern, I was given a position of business partner, executive and business partner. Again, due to some issues, I had to come back to India. Having after seeing that experience of mine, the first Indian company to hire me was ITC Limited. The first Indian company to hire me was ITC Limited, which is still a dream company for many people. I joined there, and believe me or not, I joined there without any interview. I joined there without any interview. That's funny, but again, I went in, I spoke to many people over there, I started my work over there. As an achievement over there, because I was a very new guy, you know, for someone who has just stepped out of the college, stepped out of the internship, and to get, you know, first experience in a company, and not a company, it's a conglomerate. A conglomerate like that is a very, very first kind of thing. You know, okay, this is the first job. I went in. 2 months later, they sent me for my very first recruitment drive. Believe me or not, that recruitment drive was in IIM.
It's a dream college for many of us.
It's a dream college for many of us. I didn't make it to IIM Ahmedabad because I have not been a good student, but I went there for an interview. I went there to recruit people. Even though I was not that experienced, it was my first job, but I went to IIM Ahmedabad and I went there to recruit people for the finance department. So that's, I would not call it as a big achievement, but you know, achievement starts with those small things, right? So again, those two are some of my prized memories for me. So I would call them as my achievements.
The skills and knowledge required to be a successful HR in his career.
Okay, I'll tell you one thing, right? To be a successful HR, right, you have to be a tactical person. And again, you have to be cunning and you have to be clever. You know, both of the words are almost similar, but you know, there's a small dividing line. Right? So when I talk about you being cunning, that means you have to play your cards right. Because there might be times when you have to hurt someone, not physically, but you know, emotionally or something. But at the same time, you're doing something good for someone. You know, till now, right, in my career of 1.5 years, I have done almost 160 terminations. Okay, it's not a good thing for me, but again, It happened because of certain reasons. We have warned employees, we have told them, you know what, this is why your performance is dipping, you have to pull your socks up, otherwise you'll go home. If you don't do it, it's simple. But yeah, so you have to be hard-hearted for that, because you know, sending someone home is a very big, is a very sad thing, because you know, everyone comes in with having certain responsibilities, certain commitments, and sending someone home is not a good thing. But we have to do that. We have to be hard-hearted. That's number one. At the same time, we have to be cunning, as I said. Cunning. I'll give you an example. Let's say there's an employee who you know that is the one who keeps on creating trouble for the entire team or the entire floor, but this person doesn't get caught. So now you have to play your cards right and make a plan how you catch hold of that person, and not just catch hold of that person, catch hold of that person red-handed. So you have to be cunning on that. Sometimes you also need to get into that muck to bring someone out of that. So that way you have to be cunning. Clever, as I said, it's also a way of being clever about pulling out things. Now, other than that, one of the most important skills of being an HR is to be able to make things happen. Right? Because, you know, when you walk into the HR room, you have issues, you walk into the HR room, you just approach an HR, right? You have that expectations in your mind. Right? You know what, this is my issue, and this is something which I need to sort out. And so they have that expectation. So you should have that ability to make things happen or implement things. Implementation is a very important part of being an HR, because you know there are certain things which needs to be implemented. You have certain plans to do. Your management says something, and this, that, and all. But if you are not able to implement that, that's a doubt of being an HR. Yes, the other thing is you have to be proactive. So, you know, there's a difference between being proactive and reactive. Right? So, you know, when I talk about being proactive, you need to listen first, right? What the person on the other side is saying, you need to listen first, and then you can reply to that or answer that question. So that's very important. Other skills being an HR, what I feel is you have to be creative. Because again, if you are not creative enough, you cannot keep the employees motivated. So being creative is also a very important aspect of being HR. So if I have to summarize everything together, right? You have to be a police, you have to be an artist, you have to be a cleaner, you have to be a security guard. Right? So basically, you have to be an all-in-one person to become an HR. So if you have all the skills together within you, congratulations, you are an HR.
What are the challenges faced by you as an HR?
Many. Honestly speaking, there's seriously many challenges which we face as an HR. One of the biggest challenges, right, is an employee dissatisfaction. Okay. When I talk about employee dissatisfaction, right, it's like, you know, employees are coming up to you, right? There are certain situations where you have to tell that truth, right? Let's say an employee comes to you saying, you know what, I have informed my leadership, still I'm getting an LOP. Why is it happening? You know that this person is getting an LOP for a genuine reason. You tell that employee, you know what, this is what has happened. This is the situation, this is what has happened, and it's genuine. Right? The employee still goes out with an upset mind. So that's a big challenge. So sometimes there are some employees who are hard to, you know, tough nuts to crack and all. So there are some employees who are that tough to get into. You try to make them understand, they're totally like, okay, adamant about it, okay, whatever. Let this person say, I don't care. They have that thing in them. So sometimes this acts as a challenge for us, because that's a very important, that's a very challenging situation for us. Other than that, there are certain other challenging situations for us, or bigger challenges is number one. So when you implement things, right? So there are certain times when the other teams, other departments don't come and sync with you. Let's say you have an event in your mind, okay? And on, let's say, an in-house event in your mind. You approach certain departments. They tell you, you know what, I don't have time. You know what, we don't have resources. You know what, we don't have this. You know what, we don't have that. You know what, I'm not interested. So the bigger challenge, one of those challenges is to make the uninterested ones to get interested. But at the same time, the biggest challenge is to make all things come at the right place. Because that's very important. Because if you are not able to bring things to place, believe me, that's the worst thing which can happen to you as an HR. Okay. So when you execute things, right? While execution, when somebody comes and tells you, let's say you are executing a small get together, right? So let's say all 7 of you are executing a get together or maybe a party together. One of you says, you know what, I have some other plans. One of you says, you know, I'm not well. Okay. So it's a very upsetting thing, right? Let's say you folks have planned to go for a movie, and then one of you says, you know what, I don't like that movie. The other one says, you know what, I'm not well. You know what, I have some other plans. So that's a very upsetting thing. So ultimately, if that happens, that plan gets cancelled. And when the plan gets cancelled, in person, you can make another plan. But as an HR, if that plan gets cancelled, it's again an entire scene of brainstorming, and then another plan, making another plan. That means again you have to start from the scratch. That's the worst thing which can happen. So that's, I guess that answers the question.
Would you give some message to the students who are understanding the HR concept?
And the concept of being an HR, my suggestion would be not to study HR as just a subject, right? So basically, if I have to talk about being an HR or talking about the HR management as a subject, when I started studying, right, initially when I was a student, I'll just share this small thing with you guys. When I was a student, I started my career as a very mediocre student. I only managed to score 50% in my 10th, and that too because my parents pestered me. Because otherwise, I would have even passed my 10th. My parents pestered me. I finished my 10th with 50%, just a mere 50%. I didn't know what to do. I said, okay, I've got only 50%. Let's get into commerce. So I went into commerce. I crawled hard to get a 60% score. After that, I did my BBA. In BBA, what I saw was a very different picture, right? You have to be competitive. So I studied there and I finished my work. There, I even didn't know what I need to do. I studied, right? I studied. But over there, I realized, you know what? You don't need to mug up your subjects. Because if you sit and mug up your subjects, you won't learn anything. You have to use your brains. You have to use your common sense. You have to use logic while understanding things. So I did that. What I did there was I used my logic. You won't believe me. For my semesters, I used to study just for 24 hours. So when I talk about 24 hours, I would start at 8 in the morning and study till the next 8 in the morning. And it wouldn't be only me. It would be my friends. So like 6-7 friends of mine will sit together, we'll study for the entire 24 hours. So it used to be like that. So we used to use our logics to understand things. So that is a very funny thing, you know. So with that thing, we used to complete our entire syllabus. In 24 hours, one subject would get completed, and then we'll go to the classroom. Once we stepped into the 5th semester, right? Then we started asking, dude, which one did you select? Which stream would you like to go for? So everybody would keep on saying, I would go for commerce, I would go for accounts, I sorry, I'm sorry. I would go for finance, I would go for marketing, this, that, and all. I said, I don't know what I'll do. Then somebody told me, dude, it's the BBA is about to finish. What have you decided? Let me see. I'll see what I'll do. Then at one point of time, somebody asked me, my faculty asks me, okay, this is the time for you to do your project, your summer internship projects. So okay. So he asked me, what have you decided? What will you go for? I told him, sir, I would like to do my project, summer internship project into HR. People started laughing. I didn't realize that. So when I came back home to do my summer internship plans and all, one of my neighbors, he asked me, actually, which stream have you chosen for your summer internship? I said, I have chosen HR. He started laughing again. He said, what? Dude, HR is for girls. I said, dude, I have seen so many HRs in companies who are guys. So you don't need to tell me whether HR is for girls or guys. So that was the time when I started realizing there's nothing to discriminate in when you are an HR. Right? I have seen in my entire career of 5 years, I have seen HRs as guys and as girls. Okay? And they have grown at a rapid pace. So my message to all these students who are thinking about being in HR or who are into HR, okay, stop thinking that HR is only for girls. I can only do this, I can only do that. Okay. And most importantly, if you are creative, that acts as a brownie point for you. So don't stop being creative. That's one thing which I would like to let all the students know about it. And most importantly, being an HR, you have to be logical and you have to be in sync with everything, and most importantly, your mind has to be alert, because if you miss out on even a single point and take a decision, you might end up creating a blunder. So make sure while taking a decision, you have to be attentive to every single detail, because one detail you miss out and a decision you take might ruin someone's job. That's all from my end. Is there any other questions? Yes.